I keep saying this, it's rather alarming that the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals is ruling against the president's travel halt. I mean, an executive order that's meant to protect Americans. He has deemed it necessary. It's an order our president certainly has every right to enforce according to the Immigration and National Act of 1952. But we shouldn't be surprised, right? We shouldn't be surprised by any of this, because here you go. Famed economist Thomas Sowell once said, and I quote, "One of these days, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals may declare the Constitution unconstitutional," because that's just the kind of court they are. Joining me right now for more analysis on what's next for President Trump's immigration order, Jordan Sekulow from the American Center for Law and Justice. Good to have you here, Jordan. You know, Peter just laid it out. There's a few options there for the president. Yeah. I don't think he's going to want to take it back to Seattle. But what about the Supreme Court?
You know, I think that here I'm starting to feel more and more as the day goes on that, and you see the comments coming from the president just in this press conference with the Japanese Prime Minister, that to expect something next week. What we are advocating for, Trish, at the ACLJ, and we filed a brief on behalf of the president, as you look at this opinion, which never even cites the legislation, that gives the authority to President Trump to do this, the Immigration Nationality Act. It never cites that section 1182F. But we do believe that rewriting the executive order, it moots this case out, and you probably have a stronger executive order to take. You may still lose at the Ninth Circuit, honestly, but to take it to the Supreme Court, where you've got these only 8 justices, get it a little bit tighter, may be the best option. And I think that is.
Do you run the risk, though, the Supreme Court, that you're 4-4?
They haven't made the appeal yet.
And Jordan, I find this all, if you go to the Supreme Court and you're 4-4 and it bounces back to Seattle, and that judge ultimately is successful, I don't know what that says about sort of the state of where we are as a country when we're not even entrusting our own president to judge national security information to say, hey, we got to be careful here, especially when it comes to these 7 countries.
Yeah, but, the issue is it's assuming that the Supreme Court even definitely takes it. Justice Kennedy could get this emergency stay. We're kind of getting late in the time for emergency requests to come to him, because if it was an emergency, it should have already been prepared, probably either filed last night or this morning. It still could happen, but let's say it does. He can basically ignore it. He can say no, he can say yes, or he can refer it to that whole court. But I think that we've got an opportunity here. If we saw what the most liberal court system in the country has issue with this executive order, and we know we could just issue a new executive order that could go into effect whatever the Trump administration would like. Is that
so that's what you're saying, just in terms of getting stuff done. I hear you. Yeah. So issue a new order. Aren't they just going to fight that one too?
They're going to fight it, and listen, the Ninth Circuit may still find reason, even if you handle the students, even if you handle the green card holders. The Ninth Circuit, Trish, may still find a reason to put a hold on it, a restraining order. But by the time it gets to the Supreme Court, and again, it will still be 8 justices there, I think that you have even better case. I think this is still a good one.
Let me just jump in, because, we got a country to run. The courts, they can fight all they want. We have a country to run, and we need to protect our people. And in the last 7 days,
what you want, Trish,
you've got hundreds and hundreds of people coming here. I just played the sound earlier from Obama's own administration saying there's no way these people can be vetted. But yet 359 just arrived in the last week from Syria, 252 from Iraq, 109 from Iran, 130 from Somalia. In other words, they are coming in at an extraordinary clip. And Jordan, you can fight this out all you want. What do you do if there's one terrorist in that bunch?
Well, that's the issue here. And, it was unbelievable that the court said there's no evidence of it. First of all, you don't need to show that. The president can make national security decisions without presenting evidence to a bunch of judges to decide if there's enough evidence to ban certain people. That's the president's job, and Congress has given him that authority as well. But we know. I mean, that being said, we do know there is enough evidence to show.
I mean, you have only to look at Europe, Paris and Brussels. There you go. And is that really our attitude? We're just going to,
Somali refugee, Ohio State University, takes his car, takes a knife. Thankfully, didn't kill anyone. But again, and he was neutralized. But it's happened just in this past few months.
Jordan, thank you so much. Good to have your perspective.